Alright, there's only 8 games left in the 2018 season for Georgia High School. We will use this video to look at the last 16 that were played last week. So, let's go ahead and get to it. We want to watch action in this area. We're gonna throw a flag there, and then we're gonna miss a blindside block right after. When we go to the end zone view, we can kind of see some of the action on what's that, right tackle. Like the defender's gonna grab his face mask right there, and the referee is gonna throw it, and then that blindside block, which is an illegal blindside block, happens right as he's turning his head. So we can't really bank on the referee to get that. The wing has to pick that up. That's it's pretty clear-cut illegal blindside block. There's nothing legal about it. There's no open hands there, so that is an illegal blindside block. Wing's got to help out on that. Let's watch left tackle, I believe. Pay attention to where he is when the quarterback releases the ball. So when the quarterback releases the ball, we're going to be right about 2.5 yards. Start at 29. So our line of demarcation for an eligible downfield is going to be the 32. We're not quite on it. So this is a good call for this is a good no call for an eligible downfield receiver, because 2.5 yards when the quarterback releases it, that's not quite enough. Remember, we want to look at where the ineligible receiver is when the QB releases the ball, and it's got to be 3 yards or greater. Look at the guard, the left one. So this is a legal cut block. The defender, he's in the gap. He's not head up, so he appears to be in the gap. So the cut block is legal. It turns into a hold, but we want to lay off that hold because it has no impact on the play. Remember, for a hold, you want grab and restrict, you want feet beat, and you want an impact on the play. Since we have a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, it's a good no call on the hold because it just simply does not impact the play at all. Let's look at another hold. This one's going to be on the outside receiver. At least a hold that was called. And we want to lay off this one simply for the feet. Let's look at the feet. The feet stay between the defender and the ball carrier. There's no real grab and restrict. I mean, there's some grabbing, but it's not. I mean, it's the feet that we want to look at. Really, both those receivers, both these, are working hard to keep the feet in between the ball carrier and the defender. And like I said, we have good feet. We want to lay off the hold. Don't know if the end zone view is going to give us any better look. Yeah. So see, there's no real grab and restrict yet. And again, it's the feet. The feet are good. I mean, he's got him outside the shoulders a little bit, but that's really inconsequent. The feet are good, so we want to pass on that hold. So here the center is going to cut block this player right here, or try to cut block, and that would be illegal because this defender's head up. It may even be in the gap between the guard and tackle, but he's at least head up on the guard. So even if the center comes straight out at the snap, he can't cut him because he's head up on another player. But he whiffs. If they try to cut block and they whiff like that, we want to let that go. Maybe talk to him, say, hey, you can't block that guy. He's head up another player. But it is a whiff. So this, again, good no call by this crew on passing on that. Let's watch. Let me go to a tighter angle. The center left guard on this play. Center's going to go high. Left guard goes low. But again, that's really not a great hit. It's more of a whiff. There's no danger there to the player. So again, we would probably want to not flag this and just talk to those two players. Say, hey, that was an attempt to cut block. If you made good contact, then we would have a foul. So cut it out. Yeah, and again, it's just not great. It's really not solid contact by either player, but especially the one going low. So we want to pass on that. So discussion here is the action of the QB at the snap, or the imminent snap. Coach felt like this should have been deception or false start or some kind of foul on the quarterback. We don't see it that way. This action is very methodical. It's deliberate. You know, it's not some kind of quick movement to simulate a snap. So the crew is right here and not flagging the quarterback, because that's just it's methodical. It's deliberate. There's no real quick action. And there you have two players in motion. That's not a foul till the ball is snapped. So as long as they both get set for a second, we would be good. So good job of crew here of flagging the encroachment and not that action by the quarterback. So just tighter view. You know, there's nothing here that really, you know, sells that there's going to be a snap. Plus, you know, I mean, that defender's he's right at the ball. He knows. Alright, let's refresh our rules of what the holder can do on a scoring scrimmage kick. Remember, for him to pitch that ball, that knee has to come off the ground. And there you see the knee stays on the ground. He pitches it forward. Nothing really goes for him, but nevertheless, it's still, I mean, it's not a foul. What you would do is just blow it dead right where he is. If you want to beanbag it just to mark the spot, that's fine. But you would blow this dead, and the other team, or the ball's just dead where it is. If it's fourth down, the other team would take over. It's tough. A lot of times you'll see it, and then by the time you kind of process everything that happened, it's too late. So just kind of be cognizant. Maybe part of your pregame or your pre-snap ritual. Hey, just kind of go over in your head, this is what the holder can do, this is what the kicker can do, and kind of run through the scenarios in your head. And that way when you see this, you're maybe not caught off guard. It's tough. Interesting play here. You're going to have a forward pass tipped by the defensive lineman and then caught by an offensive lineman. So remember, once the defense touches this ball, then all A players are eligible. So it's a good job by the crew kind of recognizing that and letting the play go. Of course, he fumbles it because he's an offensive lineman, but it's a good recognition by the crew. Hey, we got a tip ball. There we go. You know, because once defense tips that ball, touches it or whatever, then all A players are eligible. And you see the umpire, even if it's obvious like that, umpires still good job giving the signal, because you know we still want that signal whether it's obvious or not so obvious. Kind of lets everyone know that all A players can now touch the ball. So let's another rule refresher: forward handoffs. Remember, forward handoffs are different from forward tosses, forward pitches, or whatever. Forward handoffs have their own set of rules, and I believe that it's 7-3-2, I believe. So these forward handoffs, they are illegal as long as they're behind the line of scrimmage, and it's to, it could be to a lineman, and there's restrictions that apply to doing it to a lineman, and it can be to a back if the back is on the end of the line, which this back is. Back on the end of the line, he comes in motion, is a forward handoff, and then you have 2 subsequent backward passes. And again, the rule is just, it's different from a forward pitch. The rules on forward handoff are a lot different. So just, good job of crew recognizes it. And just, like I said, you may want to kind of refresh your rules on forward handoffs because we don't see them a whole lot. And it is 7-3-2 is the rule reference on that. So let's go to some pass interferences. Feet tangled up is not a category of DPI. So what we want to do when we have incidental contact, which is what that is, feet tangled up, if they're both looking back toward the ball like that, their feet tangle up, then it's just incidental. There's no foul. It's going to get you chewed out because a lot of people are going to think there's a foul, especially when they both hit the ground like that. But, we just know there's no category to put that in. Some people try to make a stretch and put it in early contact. But remember, early contact as a category is a deliberate action to make contact before the pass arrives. This is not deliberate. This is incidental. Again, they're both looking back. So we would pass on that. Now, if you have a defender who's not looking back and you think the contact was on purpose and deliberate, then yes, maybe you would have pass interference. But it's one of those you have to see it, and you have to be sure that the contact is not incidental. This right here, again, both looking back, that's just incidental contact. Same here, although it's better to see it on the end zone view. There you go. The feet just tangle up. We don't want to throw those. Again, feet tangle up, not a category of DPI. It's just incidental contact. Another one there's DPI. Again, no real category to put this in. A stretch may be cut off, but where you have really is receiver stops, readjusts his route, and the defender is trying to play it. That's not, that's not really a foul. Plus, the contact here is real minimal. Again, this should not be a pass interference. Here you're going to have minimal contact right as the pass arrives. Again, this is not a good pass interference call. The contact is just very minimal, and it's right as the pass arrives. So it's one that we would probably in the future not throw. Alright, this is a possible offensive pass interference. We want to look at that inside receiver on the bottom. We really want to be careful with ones like this. We want to make sure that there is an obvious attempt to block. This would be the back judge's key. No. That's the wings key. The back judge has the initial key of this tight end right there. But with the tight end staying home the block, then back judge, you can move over. If you know he's blocking, which he's obviously blocking, then you can then move over and get this guy, especially since he's starting to come in your zone. Because remember, in high school, it's a crew of 7. You can run the zones here. So you got side judge, back judge, field judge, and you just keep it outside the hash and inside the hash. Since on a high school field, these are all evenly spaced. So back judge, you can move in and take that, and you could make a great call on that, on whether or not that is offensive pass interference. It is the wing's initial key, so he may still hold on to it, but really the back judge will pick that up now. If it's an obvious block and you think it's intentional, then you would flag it. Look at a couple of block below the waist. This one, the linebacker is going to come in and take out the lead blocker. This was correctly called on a touchdown. So they have the option then of taking the penalty yardage on the subsequent kickoff, which I think is what they did. Let's watch the pulling left guard. He's going to pull out and then cut linebacker defensive end. This one was not called. Both of these are the referees' call to make. So let's when we have teams that run a lot of pulling guards, pulling tackles, a lot of cuts, I really want to make sure we stay cognizant of who's going low, where they are when they go low, and if they can legally go low. So cut blocks are hard to see when they do it a lot, but we gotta stay focused. Alright, let's end on some mechanics on a field goal. First of all, side judges, this is not where you want to be. We want you both right here in the defensive backfield. So, umpire scoot over a little bit, side judge get about right here. Side judge right there, you're really taking yourself out of the play. There's nothing you can see there. If a kick is short, like this one is, then both deeps are going to come out and signal no good. Here only one does, but you really want both of them to. So, if it's wide right, field judge signals no good. Wide left, back judge will signal no good. But short, they're both going to come out and signal no good instead of just the one. Alright, that's it for the semifinals. And this is the last weekly training video. What we're going to do, we'll do what we did last year. We'll do a training on each finals game. But I'll probably space those out about 2 or 3 weeks. Just kind of keep content going throughout the off season. So good luck to the 8 crews working this week or next week. Stay focused, have fun, because at the end that's what it's all about.